Okay, I did my little test video and everything seems to be working, the audio and everything. So I'm gonna, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do something that I did a long time ago, learned how to do. It's making a face. It's so fast that you can do like 2 or 3 of these in like half an hour. So this was a way for me to be able to get expressions and just learn the proportions and just do something quickly. And so anyway, that's what we're going to do today. So this is a little cube, and for those that would like to know the dimensions, it's pretty much 1 inch by maybe about 2 inches. So, but you can do a 1 inch by 1 inch. This is just, you can use just scrap wood. So I've already done a little bit of this. Primarily what you do is that you make a line directly down the middle. Okay, so then make sure that you've got the same proportion on both sides. Okay. Then right next to it, now you want to make this a little bit wider, but don't make it too. Well, you can always narrow it down. So anyway, try to get again the same equal distance on each side of the line. Also, while I'm here, let me talk about knives just a little bit. Okay, so there's different kinds of lengths of blades on knives. So this one is like a medium. This one they call it a detail. This is a fine. Then you have a long one. So I guess it depends on the project. If you learn how to use a long one, then you know you'll always have that one. But okay, so let's get back to our carving. All right, so the reason I bring that up about the knives is because, with this one here, this one being a little bit long, you can use the advantage of the long blade. The other thing that this is a good project for is to know where the tip of your knife is. Okay, know where the tip of your knife is, and so what you're trying to do is you're actually trying to cut, but not too deep. So what we're going to do is to take the tip of our knife, going to go down into the wood, follow that line. Okay. So now what I do, take a little bit of wood off at a time, just to take my blade, and you just want to kind of at an angle. You're going towards the line. Going a little bit further, and take off. Go in at an angle. Take out that little piece of wood. So now I'm getting my depth a little bit. And I'll probably change up knives here so you can see what it's like to use a little shorter. So now I can check and see how deep I've gone down into the wood. I want to go just a little bit further. Check my depth again. There's a really good just having a block of wood when you're doing just like a head for maybe a puppet or something like that, or a two-piece. So you want the head to be able to move. Okay, so that's about as far as I'm going to go on that right there, and I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. But I'm going to change knives here. I'm going to go down. And angle in. Yeah, it's a good exercise to teach you how to know where the tip of your knife is. Okay, so I can look and see if those are kind of even. Take out that piece of wood. Okay. All right. So next thing I want to do is I've got these two pieces of wood right here. So I'm just going to take and flatten that out. Take those pieces of wood. Again, I'm watching where the tip of my knife is so that I'm not digging into the side here. Okay, I can do. Notice that when I use my thumb here, my thumb is down out of the way. Get that over here. Okay, so now I can check this out, look and see. Okay, so I'm a little high on the wood right there and I can just take my knife, take out that little piece of wood right there, check it again. Okay, still a little bit high on this side right here, so I'm just going to take out a little bit more wood. Okay, all right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another line from the edge this time, and I'm going to go in just a little tiny bit. Notice I use my finger right here as kind of a gauge to go down. Don't need much. Don't need much. Okay? So now I'm going to take my knife, going to make a stock cut. And I'm going to take out that little piece of wood. Okay, so what I did is I drew the line here, and what I should have done is come over here. Now I'm thinking about an ear in here somewhere, so I want to take off a little bit, leave enough for maybe a side burn or something. So I'm going down. I hope you're understanding this because it's pretty simple, but okay. All right, so now you can kind of see the step system here that I've got. On this side, I'm gonna, again, my ear is gonna be somewhere around in here. So I'm gonna come down here. Go down the line here. Take out that piece of wood. Okay, so now what I'm concerned with is I want to get these kind of equal, because you can see this one's a little bit more shallow, so I'm going to take just a tad more up here. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so right there, maybe just a tad more. Again, I'm watching where the tip of my knife is so I'm not digging into the wood. And I can smooth that up a little bit, just taking those off. Okay, go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how wide I want my ears are. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to make them pretty wide. I always like to leave a little bit of material, so I'm going to come down here. Do that on both sides. You can also leave you a little line up here so that you know, like I could come over here and match those up, and actually come down here. And now on the back of this here, I need to take in consideration this space right here. So I'm going to come over about right there. It's going to be the back of the ear. I know it's hard to see right now, but you'll see. Okay, so even, pretty much even on both sides. Okay, and then take your knife. You're going to go down here. And here's the advantage of a long knife. You know, you can just kind of, or a long blade, and do that. Again, you don't want to press too hard. I'll go back to this one. Okay. Okay, and that piece of wood just pops out. One of the good times that popping noise is good. Making sure you know where the tip of your knife is, so you're not cutting in too much to the wood in front of you. Okay, so now you can see that a little bit. Do the same thing over here on this side. Come down here. If you feel comfortable, you can take an old leather glove, just cut the thumb off and have kind of a thumb guard, and I've had students do that. Okay, so this is how our wood turned out. Okay, so if you haven't figured it out, this is going to be our nose, this is the face, this is our ears, this is the back of the head. So now what we want to do is just round off the face. So I usually go down, I don't know, about, what is that? Let's see, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and I usually start at the front. You just round off the top, 1/4 inch from the top. So you gotta round off your head. This is a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this. Actually, it seems like that the faces turn out very very true. I mean, very like real human faces when you do it this way. You can put in we'll get into that, you know, the expressions, the characteristics of a face that makes a person's face the way it is. You know, what makes Donald Trump's face look like Donald Trump, who makes everybody look like who they are, you know. So, okay. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually divide this in half in the front so that I don't need I don't need that big of a face. So I'm going to start getting my proportions. Go all the way around. Again, this is practicing, you know, getting a face to the point that you can actually start putting in the facial features. Okay, see where we're going with this now. Whoop, let's get it down here so you can. Okay. Back of the head. Is that the back of the head? Yeah, sure is. Okay, so you can kind of start to see now how that head's starting to develop. All right, next thing we want to do is draw the bottom of our nose. So we're going to go about halfway, maybe just a little bit longer than halfway. Draw the bottom of our nose, take our knife, just rock it back and forth. Not a lot of pressure. Do an almost cut up to the line. Go back, push down again, rock it back and forth, do the same thing again. Okay, so what we're trying to do is trying to get to the point where this is going to be flat right here, or pretty close to it, underneath the nose. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is to see how I do this. I call it a circle cut. What I do is that I take my knife and I take the point and I put it right below the tip of the nose, and I just do it like a circle or a half circle. I just kind of turn that knife and come down and level that off. Okay, next thing I want to do is I'm going to draw a triangle for our nose. So I'm going to come up here, the bridge of the nose, draw my triangle. Okay, and now I want to tilt my knife. Instead of going straight down, I want it actually tilted out. You know, just like there would be an angle to the nose, not straight down, but out towards the outside. So I'm going to tilt my knife towards the outside, and I'm going to come down, take out that piece of wood. Same thing on this side here. So I'm going to tilt my knife out, go down that line, take out that little piece of wood. Okay, so now there's the triangle to my nose. Okay, now I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to put it just above the tip of the nose, and I'm going to angle it back. Okay, see how I did that? Angled it back. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to draw my ears. What's the rule of the ears? Okay, so usually I'm going to put my eyes in here, or the line for my eyes. So usually the ears are right in line with or just above the eyes and just even with the bottom of the nose. So I'm going to do even with the eyes, even with the bottom of the nose. Okay, and just to match those up, I can draw in my little lines, and I know my ears are lined up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, just take my knife at the top of the ear on the left-hand side, rock it back and forth, do an almost cut. Don't want to put too much pressure because I don't want to pop off this wood right here. I'm going to do it again. Go back and forth. Okay, I'm trying to get that pretty even. Okay, so there we go. All right, next thing, going to go below the ear. Go up to the line, almost cut. Don't put pressure. You don't want to pop out this wood right here. So get that right even. Now I'm going to do that circle cut again. Take the tip of my knife, put it right in the corner, and then just circle it around. This works so good to get underneath things and absolutely eliminates the possibility of popping off that ear. Okay, so we do the same thing on this side here, on the right hand side. Going to come down to an almost cut. Keep going until I'm even, until this is level, pretty much. See where we're going? Okay, now I'm going to go below the ear, rock it back and forth, come up underneath to an almost cut. Don't put too much pressure here. Seen that happen so many times. People pop off ears. Okay, and then here's my circle cut again. Should just come, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Seeing little pieces of wood that need to be taken out. Okay. So here we are with this. All right. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to shape the face a little bit. So we're going to go just below the ear here, and we're going to shape our face. Pretty simple way to do this. You just take your knife, make sure you don't catch your ear, but just come down, take that out. Just take that corner out. Okay. Take out some wood here on the side to match it up. Okay, so there we've got to this point. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of round the face just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to get a little bit more, take a little bit more wood out from underneath the bottom of the chin. This is almost a foolproof way of getting a real human-like head. Okay, proportions end up looking really, really good. All right, so now I'm just going to take my knife and just round the edges, just wherever there's a sharp angled edge. I'm just gonna round that off. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the back of the head. So if you'll notice, what I like to do is just use the ear kind of as an idea of where the back of the head starts to angle back into the neck. So just about where the ears are at, the bottom of the ears. So, you know, you can take your time on this, but what I like to do is just come down, just take that out. So now we've got the back of the head, and I'll round that out. This is about the time you want to just fast forward and go, here, I want to, let's get on to the next thing. But if you need to, you can always go back. So just taking off the corners and the edges. All right. I don't know what happened, but new computer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the ears. So what I do is I just take a little corner off the ear here, a little corner off the ear there, and then just a little bit more. So as you can see here is a little tiny, just a tad more here. This is pretty simple. You do is just take your knife, push down, and just take out that little corner. Same thing here. Push down, take out that little corner, push down. Just be careful here that you just give it enough pressure. And there's our ear. Same thing over here. Just take the top corner, little tiny on the back corner, little bit more on the bottom back corner, and there's our ear. Okay, there's our ears. Ear, ear. All right. Now, ears, what they do is they start out on most people a little off the head, a little bit more in the back, and then they taper down to the face. So what I do is just about right here. I take my knife and I angle it here, and I take that and shave off that little piece of wood and blend it into the face. So as you can see right here, it's blended. Again over here on this side, just a little bit farther back than middle. I'm going to take my knife, angle it, and just blend that into the face. Okay. So now we've got our ears. Look at them a little bit, try to even them up. This one right here sticks out just a little bit more, so I'm going to take off just a little bit of wood. A little bit of wood here. Okay. This one's just a tad bit taller. I'm going to take off a little bit there. I want my ears to be obviously same length. Okay. All right. Angle that down just a little bit more. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that you look at your ears and you get them evened up. Look at your head. Any place that there's not the correct proportion, you want to fix that. Down here by the chin, okay, you want to just curve that over. You want to put in some cheekbones. This is the place to do it. Your cheekbones are about right here. So if you want to go in just a little bit, put in some cheekbones. A little over here. Round that over. Okay, this is where now you start getting into your expressions. So we'll just do a simple smile today, but what I want to do is to show you want to do our smile lines. So we're going to go from the edge of the nose, going to go down. Now you want for your mouth, you want to leave just enough for your upper lip. Actually, you know what? Let's do a mustache on this. That's kind of cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a straight line. Straight line. And just take my knife, and I'm going to go back and forth. Not a lot of pressure. Don't want to realize that there's not a lot of wood now underneath here, and there's not a lot of wood up underneath there. So just don't put a lot of pressure. Just roll back and forth. Okay, now I'm going to come up underneath, because your mustache is sticking out farther than the skin. So I'm going to just go to an almost cut. Go back and forth. I'm not going to try to go all the way to it. Same thing here. Go up underneath. Okay, so there we've got that. Now we're going to take our smile line, go down here, come up underneath. Same thing on this side. Take out that line, and then just kind of round that just a little tiny bit. Just round that over just a little bit. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of take the edges off our nose. So I'm just going to go in the corner here and just take off and just round those sharp corners off a little bit. Kind of take off the pencil marks and stuff here on the nose. Okay, now obviously we have a pretty wide nose. Now there's a lot of things that you can do. We haven't made our eyes yet, and so we can take off a lot of nose. We can keep it a wide nose. We can just so many things that we can do to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just kind of make a leave it wide at the bottom, and then I'm going to just take and put a little bit of an arch, just like people normally have. That's the thing about leaving a wide nose and leaving some material, is that you have a lot of material to work with. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, okay, I put a little bit of the angle there. Okay, so now here there's just again a lot of things that we can do. The thing that I'm telling you, if you get to this point, when you get to this point, you got to look at it, and the eyes are going to talk to you. The eyes are going to tell you where they want to go. So I can look at this and I can tell where he wants his eyes. Okay. So I'm going to come from the top, come down at an angle a little bit. Don't put too much pressure. And same thing. He's in there. You're just bringing him out. Okay. Same thing over on this side. Not too much pressure. You don't want to pop off any wood. But you want to get some wood out of there. Okay. Now he's going to tell you, like, this is me. This is me in here. This is me in here. Get me out of here. So that's, like I said, this is a way to get quite a bit of a more human, proportional looking face. So actually, I'm going to stop right here. This is something that, like I say, you can do this rather quickly. You can do, once you get this down, you can do this, 2 or 3 of them in half an hour. Set them to the side. You can get them just to a point, just that when you get a few minutes, and you can just, finish them up. But that's how you get at least the base in a very short period of time. Hey, I hope you like these videos. If you do, hit the bell icon for the notification. Leave me a comment. Thank you for the comments of, like, hey, what's the proportions and stuff that you use. It's basswood that I use. And get yourself a good knife. Okay, don't go down to the craft store, and pick up just anything. There's a company that's kind of made some evolution. A fellow by the name of Ron Wells, which these are the knives that I use all the time, and it's got RW on it from Ron Wells. Of course, got my initials in there, but anyway, and then Ron Wells, and then I think Doug Shipley, he took over that company, and then I think his new company is called OCC. So those are good knives. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'll recommend them because they're just really good. They keep a great edge. And so anyway, hey, happy carving. Thank you for watching this. Talk to you later.